Hi everyone, welcome to the Movie Session Show. My name is Fariba, and today let's talk about 65 because that is the latest new sci-fi film that's out in theaters. I actually had a chance to go see it today of all days, and yeah, let's talk about it because I think one of the things that really discouraged me a little bit from seeing this film was a Rotten Tomato score I'd seen for it. Like I think right now it's like a 33% or something, and it was shockingly low. I did not expect it to be that low. Like I think even after having seen the trailer, like I thought because of the Adam Driver appeal, maybe this was going to be at least a pretty decent film. And I was shocked with how the critics reacted to it and how this isn't a great film somehow. So, but even then, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see it myself. So I had a chance to go see it, and let me just say this: I actually enjoyed it far more than I anticipated. Like, I actually thought that this was a pretty fun film to watch. It's nothing, anything too, special, I would say. Like, it is just a mindless action movie. It's just, it's just this typical, stereotypical sci-fi film that we get, especially in this case with dinosaurs. But it is not as bad as the critics are saying. I think for me, I overall enjoyed it. I think, again, one of the things I did like about this film, I mean, of course, it's Adam Driver. Like, I think with the character that he does have, like, I think he does try his best to really establish the character, try to, carry on this film, and doing so in a way that he's able to kind of establish himself as the leading character. And I think one of the things that I will say though is that having just seen Last of Us 24 hours ago, I mean, I definitely got a lot of Last of Us vibes in this movie because, like, honestly, like, each of the characters that we do meet are basically kind of some like Last of Us characters that we have, like Sarah, Ellie, Joel. And so in this case, like, Adam Driver's character is like Joel. And so I would say, like, that was kind of something that I did not anticipate. Like, I'm having this whole deja vu moment for a little bit, but I was just like, okay, I don't really care about that. Like, this is a sci-fi film. I want to focus on that. Let's see how this movie is. Let's see how the characters are. That's what matters, right? And so, yeah, Adam Driver, like, he has somewhat of a Joel Miller type of backstory that we're dealing with. And then there is that girl that he has alongside him, who is like the Ellie of this film. And now they're the two survivors from their ship who somehow happens to be stuck in what is Earth from 65 million years ago, hence the 65, title. And it's like, okay, well, now this is what is basically the focus of this film, is that their relationship, their mission to survive, not just survive the creatures that are on this planet, the dinosaurs are on this planet, but also in a way of trying to escape and trying to survive everything that's happened and get back to basically their home, right? And so, yeah, as I mentioned before, this is a stereotypical, sci-fi film that we get where we have dinosaurs and it's just mindless action scenes. And I think that in this case, I think Adam Driver is able to carry himself as like an action type of character that he is playing this film. Like, I think in this film, he takes a lot of beating. So you're just like, oh, wow, like, you can see the strength that Adam Driver is putting into his character. And I think for one thing, like, Adam Driver, like, no matter what role or character or even the movie that he takes, he always puts 110% for any character that he does, and he still does on this film. Like, he is still able to show a pretty great acting, regardless of what film he's in, even if the story can be just, formulaic. He doesn't really care about that. What matters is that his performance is still good, and I think that not just his performance, but his dynamic with the actor, I believe her name is Ariana Greenblatt. I think their dynamic is pretty good overall. Like, one thing that they really do establish in this film is like this, language barrier between them, and so it's like because of that, there's definitely this like, it's like there's a little bit of this added obstacle that they have to deal with, but also it's like the more and more these characters kind of get to know each other, the more and more they get closer, and you really like it. I think it's a really cute, charming thing that you see with these characters and how they're trying to, survive, and they really do need to rely on each other to somehow get out of this planet and get back home. And not just doing that, but also dealing with all these dinosaurs who are basically carnivorous and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, well, with all these things, like, I think that the journey that they go through is pretty enjoyable. I think that, again, the action scenes are, typical action scenes that you get. They're nothing too special. But even then, like, I think that, Adam Driver, he's still able to do something that he can to try and carry on this film, and I think it still works out. Like, I at least overall enjoy this film. Now, I will say for one thing, in terms of pacing, it is kind of an issue in this film because it is so action heavy and because it is a sci-fi film, it relies so much on the action to really carry on the story itself and get to the, ending. And this is a film that's only like, what, an hour and 33 minutes. So it's a pretty short film. And heck, I think even then it's like with everything that happens, like there are some things that they kind of overdo with like the action scenes. Like we get that, there are so many dangerous animals, there's so many dangerous dinosaurs. They're not anything that you have to take too easy, and it's like, okay, well, it does kind of become too much. It becomes pretty repetitive in a way that you're like, okay, this film could have been cut for like another 20 minutes, and already this film is already short. So it's like, okay, I can see where the pacing is a bit of an issue in this film, and maybe that's why a lot of the critics are, being a bit harsh about it. But even with that being the case, even if the pacing might be a bit off, it might be a bit too long for what a story is, it might be a bit repetitive with the things that happen with the action scenes, and the kind of just this dynamic that they're trying to establish between, Adam Driver's character and Ariana Greenblatt's character. And so again, overall, I still enjoyed it. I think that adventure that they do go through, like, you are rooting for them. You're just like wondering, okay, can they make it? I mean, it's pretty predictable, but you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy the moment type of thing. And it's like, okay, as long as the action scenes are pretty fun, well, not just fun, but like, are enjoyable to watch, and that, it means something in some form as they're going through this whole journey together to somehow escape Earth. That's all that mattered to me. And I think overall, I did enjoy it. I did not hate this film, as the critics are saying. This is, I mean, yeah, it's not the perfect sci-fi film. It's pretty formulaic. It's nothing too special as a sci-fi movie. And I do think that because of the fact that there are some, issues with it, there are some flaws to it that, there are some things that even Adam Driver himself can't save. But regardless of that, I enjoyed it overall. I think it's a fun film. Like, I would not say that it's a film that I would say I would watch a lot, like, and repeat a lot. But overall, I think that because like, for anybody who likes, action-based films that's purely on action, they will definitely enjoy this film, because again, it is very action heavy. It's very, it relies on the action scenes to really kind of set, the rest of this film. Like, that's what it really needs for this film to be its, its own kind of thing. And overall, like, again, I still enjoyed it for what it is, and even if it is predictable, but overall, I liked it. It's not that bad as critics are saying. So yeah, that's all I have to say about 65. Because that's really what I think about it. It's just like, it's pretty formulaic, nothing too new, but also I enjoyed it. I would not say it's a, Oscar-worthy film. Heck, let alone like, the perfect and like a really special film in a sense. But it's still a good film if you like the elements, especially anything that's sci-fi or action-based. Like, that's something that I at least enjoyed out of it. But as well as like kind of the dynamic that I was getting out of Adam Driver's character and Ariana Greenblatt. But yeah, that's all I have to say about 65. What are your thoughts? Have you seen 65? If you're not, I would say just go watch it yourself, because like, I mean, form your own opinions about it. You don't have to rely on the critics for it. Let me know what you thought about 65 if you have seen it. What do you think about it overall? What do you think about the action scenes? What do you think about the whole sci-fi aspects? Does it work? Does it not work in your favor? Do you think that, it was just too generic? It was too formulaic? It was just something that isn't too new? Is that something that, did you wanted something far, more sophisticated, like the way that, because this is a Adam Driver film, right? Like, you were hoping like this is going to be a far more complex movie, far more nuanced than it is. Is that what you were expecting for this film, knowing that there is Adam Driver in this movie? Or was that something that, or was there expectation as what you had expected it to be? Or did it, or is it far more worse than what critics are saying? Or do you like agree with them? Or do you think that you disagree with the critics, right? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.